I believe Karen was going to go first when we
Yeah,
discussed
I
it.
think we decided I'd make a start, didn't we? So I'm Karen Tashinsky, and I'm a health visitor and a clinical practice lead with HCRG Care Group, and that's in Lancashire. So we're the 0 to 19 team, and we cover the whole of Lancashire except for Blackpool and Blackburn with Darwin. So we're quite a big area, diverse community and population with quite a lot of pockets with high need. So as part of my role as clinical practice lead, I've got different portfolios, and Icon is one of them. And I'm really passionate about Icon and really quite excited about this week because I've been lots of locations already sharing the message, but I'm not finished yet. I'm going to be out and about quite a lot more. But I'm on the Lancashire Icon group and have quite a lot of meetings with Sue to keep up to date with what's going on and share the good practice and try and improve the message, getting it out even more. And the Engaging Fathers subgroup, because that again is another area. It's really important to me. We need to get male carers, partners, everybody involved in the care of their baby and get these messages out. And that is more tricky because as health visitors, when we visit, quite often partners are at work or they're not there. But we're working on it, and I'm doing sort of training with staff about how we can engage fathers more. So also as part of my role, I do the Icon training. I deliver it quarterly for all new staff. So all our colleagues are all getting the Icon training because it is so important. And I also deliver it to our student nurses who come out with us. We get a lot of different disciplines. You know, we get all the disciplines from pre-reg nurses. They come from UCLan, they come from University of Cumbria, they come from Ed Gill. Sometimes we get them from Bradford as well, the Yorkshire area. So we have quite a lot of students. So I want to get the message out to them as well. It's important that they all know about it. I've also made links with West Lancs, with the urgent care and the walk-in centres. And hopefully the team managers are going to identify some Icon champions so that I can do the training with them. Because we know that, you know, when parents have got a crying baby, a newborn, you know, quite often babies can be unsettled and they don't know what to do. Baby's not settling. They're worried about the baby. So they will rock up at A&E. And, you know, there may be issues, but quite often they just need that reassurance that baby is fine. So this is when baby's going to be crying quite a lot. So we need to make sure that frontline staff there know the Icon messages and they can ask about it. You know, they can ask how parents are coping with crying and share this message out as well. So I'm trying to make sure that we've got the information on displays, you know, where parents are waiting in the waiting areas so that everybody can see this and that all staff are well aware of the messages. So obviously, I'm sure you all know it's Icon Week this week, so that's got me really fired up. So as a service, we've got together with the safeguarding team and we're going to baby clinics, we're going to urgent care, walk-in centres, and luckily for us in Lancashire, it's coincided with the Children and Family Wellbeing Hub launches. So they're launching different hubs on different days where it's a massive sort of opening ceremony. They've got lots of different professionals there. So we're going with the Icon stuff as well, which is really, really good. I'll just quickly share with you a quick PowerPoint that I put together, and it's just from a couple of the photos that we've got already from this week, from some of the groups we've been to. This one I like in particular. I didn't take it because I think it was up in Kirkham, but I think it's really nice because, as I said, we're trying to engage the dads. We've got a dad there, clearly, you know, taking on the messages and joining in. This is another one where we've got a health visitor there, and the lady on the right.
See the pictures.
Have you not? Oh no! Right, let me come out. Apologies for that. I needed to see the pictures because I'm talking, well, why didn't that happen? Let's just try. Oh, I know why. Because I've got my second screen on, it messes it up. Right, you'll see them now, I'm sure. You can see that now, can't you?
Yeah, we can see that. That's lovely.
Brilliant. So this is where I started saying, I was so excited. So this is a picture I was enthusing about. I really like this because it's got a dad there who's, checking on the messages, etc. This is one, I think it was at Kirkham, this one, where one of our health visitors is there and the service manager for there. So we've got display boards like this one, and we're replicating them at as many of the hub launches as we can. And this one is me when I was at the baby clinic on Monday morning. And I got quite a few of the mums as they were coming in. We managed to have a good chat because I was in the waiting area. And this is some feedback we've had already. As you can see, they really feel that we're getting the icon message out there across in the community. So that is, a real positive for Icon Week this week. I'm really quite pleased about that. But we've still lots to go. Tomorrow I'm going to be at Burnley in the morning and Clitheroe in the afternoon. Now, when we go, we're taking the boards, but we're also taking some dolls. So we've managed to get, for HCRG, some abusive head trauma dolls. We've only got 7 because they are quite expensive, but we're going to be using these dolls to get the messages out to our families. So they're not going to be used universally. So they're not going to be used with all our families, but obviously we are discussing Icon with all our families. But health visitors are able to take them to some of our more vulnerable families. We know that anybody can get frustrated with babies crying because, our brains are hardwired to be able to stop the baby crying, to comfort them. And it's really difficult. We've probably all been in that situation with a crying baby. But there are some risk indicators, and these include things like financial hardship. Well, that is rife at the moment, isn't it? Everybody's struggling with the bills, cost of living, everything's going up. One of the other risk indicators is low birth and prem babies. We know, don't we, that if babies have been on NICU, quite often they can be difficult to feed and settle. They can be colicky, they can be reflux, but also as well, parents have been through, it can be possibly been really traumatic for them if the baby's been quite poorly. And, the actual bonding and attachment process can be broken if baby's on NICU, because sometimes they can't actually hold or comfort or cuddle the baby for quite a while. So those parents are going to need extra support. So you may use these dolls with those parents, although I do know that they always get the message before they're discharged from hospital and from NICU. And we know that families who have had prior involvement with child protection, so it may be they've been children in care. So, they've had the ACEs, the adverse childhood experiences. Deteriorating parental mental health. Obviously, as health visitors, we're always asking parents how they are, how they're feeling. And I'm really getting out there that we need to be asking dads this as well, because it's really important. It's important how they feel. We know that dads can suffer with, problems in the perinatal period, low mood, depression, anxiety. And if one parent is low or depressed, it impacts on the other parent. We need at least one parent to be strong if possible, because they can be a buffer and they can, support. So we need to be asking dads how they are as well. But we'd also know that emotional regulation development in babies peaks at around 12 months of age. So any parent who didn't receive that attuned responsive care when they were babies, they may really struggle to regulate their own emotions, and they're going to find a crying baby really challenging. So we can use our dolls. It's obviously the health visitor's decision. It's their judgment and assessment with any of these parents. So we will tell parents we're going to be taking a doll out. We can take them antenatally, especially if they're a vulnerable family on the, midwife's caseload. and show them the dolls. So we are also going to use them for our face-to-face bump birth and beyond, because we can use them to show breastfeeding, positioning, etc., comforting techniques. But we can show parents, obviously we talk to them about how the neck's not very strong and it's not able to support the head. But if you start rocking, if you're rocking a little bit vigorously, you can hear that. And actually, I'll just show you. So this is, you can see the baby's brain, and even rocking, which has, it can stop babies crying if it's a bit vigorous, but actually they may already be getting some head trauma that's not detected, and that's why baby stops crying. But parents perceive that as a technique that's working. But also you can demonstrate what shaking does, and I think that's quite well, it is. It's very impactful because you can see how the baby's head's going backwards and forwards, and how that baby is going to be receiving, a lot of maybe potential life threatening or changing injuries. So it's really important, we're going to use these dolls wisely, but it's to get the messages home. And we're looking at trying to get more of these messages in school as well, because I think we need to make sure that, our young people have got all these messages, because, we know teenagers babysit and they can be looking after babies and young children. They may have siblings, mum, dad, they may be in another relationship and have a new baby. And they are obviously, young people have babies of their own as well. So we need to get that message out there, and it's a universal message. We all need to work together, which obviously I know that's what Icon Week's about. I've also put quite a lot of information on our website about Icon and how to cope with a crying baby, some techniques to use, and the crisis helpline number for crying babies. But Icon is really integral, excuse me, to delivering our service. It's discussed at all visits really, but it is documented at the antenatal visit, the new birth visit, and the 6 to 8 visit. But we should always be discussing crying. We don't necessarily need to go through the Icon every time. It can be a soft touch, how are you feeling? How are you coping? Does your baby settle well? Is your baby crying a lot? And just those gentle, soft messages, just asking how they are, and talking to parents about whether they're coping with the baby, whether they're crying. And we always talk about the crying curve as well, so that parents are aware that baby's going to start crying more at 6 to 8 weeks, so they've got that anticipatory guidance. Because if parents know it's normal, it helps reassure them, doesn't it? So those are the messages we're getting out. And as I said, as health visitors and school nurses, I'm really passionate at making sure that everybody's got the information and we're getting the messages out there. When I was at the baby clinic on Monday, I spoke to a mum there she was on maternity leave. She had a new baby, actually had been on premise on NICU as well. So we had a really good conversation while she was waiting. And it transpires that she's a lecturer at one of the colleges for early years education. So I've got myself roped into now going in to see the students there and talking to them about Icon. But I'm really keen to do that because I think it's really important, especially when they're, doing the training, to be involved in looking after and caring for children. Have we got Carla yet, or is she?
She's just phoned me to say she thought it was half past. She's joining now as we speak.
I think I've maybe overrun you. Sometimes I need a hook to drag me. Yeah, I'm really passionate.
It's your passion and caring that makes you keep talking, doesn't it? That's all sounds absolutely amazing what you're doing there. Fantastic.
We do get a lot of support from Sue as well, because historically she worked with us, so she's a good contact for us.
So stomping ground.
Well done, Karen.
Well done. That's brilliant. And obviously the hats, your dolls that you've got when you go out, because they can be a bit of a shock when they first see them. So you always have the hats on, don't you? And I know a lot of you've been taking those dolls in all your displays. That's why all your babies have had hats on as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So
we would never. We only sort of take the hat off after we've explained what we're going to be doing.
Hi, Carla.
Well, Carly, you came
Hello.
at the right time. You're second, so off you go.
My apologies. It wouldn't be a Teams thing without some IT issues, would it? I'm so sorry.
No, don't
Um,
worry.
It's lovely to speak to you all. Very exciting week, isn't it? Icon week. I love it. My name's Carla Clark. I'm the named midwife for safeguarding children at University Hospitals of Morecambe Bay. And we were just going to have a little sort of informal chat about what we'd been doing within the trust to build on the work we've already started around Icon. So for a little bit of context, and I'll apologise to Karen and Debbie if I'm stepping on anyone's toes or stories. So when we had planned to, here at UHMB, had planned to sort of roll out Icon back in 2020, we were scuppered a little bit by COVID. So we had all these lovely plans to try and roll it out nice and gently and really sort of take our time with it and plan it really carefully. And actually COVID showed us that you can't really rely on on anything. And what we wanted to do was get this really, really important message out to those families really quickly, because those families back in 2020, March and April, who were having their babies, were potentially a significantly increased risk of not being able to cope with their baby crying. So we sort of did it the other way around really, and rolled it out quite quickly, and produced a video for use on the wards, and retrospectively contacted a lot of those families that had gone home into lockdown without that specific Icon message. So that seemed to work quite well. We got some really good feedback from families, sort of saying, you know, that's really valuable to us. That's, you know, it's one of the things that really came across for those retrospective contacts was the destigmatization of not feeling as if you can cope with your baby's crying. That really, you know, a couple of the phrases that really resonated with me as a safeguarding midwife were, oh, it's really nice to have permission to put my baby down. It really made me think about how much power we can potentially hold as professionals. So families hearing that from professionals, people in uniforms, people with lanyards, you know, we do sort of defer to their opinion, don't we? And we do defer to their suggestions sometimes. So that really resonated with me and a lot of colleagues as well. So obviously we knew that it was a really important message, and we were really committed to pushing forward with it. And now we're in a permission where it's part and parcel of our electronic maternity note records. It feels within UHMB as though it's embedded in what we'd call normal practice. We still have our challenges, don't we? You know, I'm proof today that technology isn't always our best friend. So we still have our challenges. There's lots and lots of debates around whether it should be a mandatory field or not. And I know my digital colleagues within University Hospitals of Morecambe Bay, we frequently have a debate around whether something should be mandated or whether the training should go into it to make it sort of part and parcel of what we do, and we can't imagine not doing it because we've trained so hard that it's just part of the notes, the same as taking a blood pressure. I've got to say we're not there yet at University Hospitals of Morecambe Bay, and we're embarking on an audit to try and look at where we're at now and how we can go on to improve. So yeah, there's been challenges, particularly around capacity within maternity services, and helping our colleagues understand how this is wider than maternity. This is bigger. This is, you know, a really important part of preparing parents for what might come, and that goes past 28 days postnatal, doesn't it? So yeah, there's been challenges. It's been really rewarding, and we're hoping to sort of we're not naively thinking the job's done. There's still lots more to do, and we're still trying to improve. So yeah, that's it from me.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Carla, as always, lots of things. If anybody has any comments up to now or any questions or anything, just shout out or put comments in the chat box.
Well done, Carla. You can see that passion through everything you said. Shall I go? My turn
Go on,
next.
Debbie.
For those that don't know me, I'm Debbie Gibbons. I'm the lead midwife safeguarding at Lancashire Teaching Hospitals, which covers Chorley, Preston and South Ribble area. We also go into as far as Longridge and up that area as well, and up towards the Blackpool area. So I think on this, Carla and Karen and myself, along with Sue, I think we started on this journey several years ago when we were part of the ICON group, which was a little task and finish group, which seems to have grown and grown. And now I have the privilege of being the deputy chair for the ICON group, but I've been covering for the chair in her absence because she's gone on to pastures new. And we also sit alongside Sue when she chairs and hosts the Engaging Men. As you know, this year's focus on ICON Week is about engaging males, and that's the main focus because, as you know, 70% of abusive head trauma is caused by males from the research we know. We've been massive drivers, I think, for raising awareness across ICON. As Carla said, back when COVID hit, we had to do things quite quickly because we knew the families were going to be more at risk. Well, babies were going to be more at risk because of the lockdown. Maternity work was business as usual. We still went into all the houses, didn't we, with all our PPE on and everything else. We did like Carla. Carla started the process of doing a video, which was absolutely amazing. She did it on her own, and then we followed on and we did a video now that's been rolled out across the LMNS, and that we had the support of the comms team at Lancashire Teaching Hospitals, which was actually amazing. We have also produced a training video for our staff, and like Karen was saying before, it is a mandatory requirement for all staff to do ICON training in maternity and anybody that does level 3 safeguarding, as it is in Carla's trust as well for all the midwives. It is embedded, but we still got further to go. We have had badgernet issues. For those that don't know what badgernet is, it's an end-to-end electronic specific maternity system. Is that correct? And we've got all the badger information on the woman's app. The leaflets are all in there. There's easy read ones, and there's also the generic ICON app, along with all our Safe Asleep. We've also made it mandatory that we do, all parents and caregivers are shown the ICON video as well as the Safe Asleep videos before discharge home, and ICON is discussed prior to discharge from hospital or home birth and prior to transfer of care to hospital. As Carla's already said, trying to get anything mandated on that badgernet system is very difficult, so we still have that challenge, but we're still going with that challenge, aren't we, Carla, and doing that beyond. So what have we done? We've done loads, haven't we? We've also, Carla and myself, but Carla led on it. She went to speak to university. So one of our tasks that we got from an action from the groups that we sit on was, how do we get it into universities? So Carla got on board the Cumbria University and she raised awareness with all the staff there, the midwifery staff, and they were going to cascade that training. UCLan didn't come on board initially because they hadn't got the capacity to roll out the training. So what we did, we shared the PowerPoint that we share with all our midwives, the training package and the assessment on that, and they agreed to do that. And as you can see, if you're going on the ICON website this week on their Twitter accounts and everything, you will see that we got the UCLan teachers involved in that, and they've promoted the ICON message, and now it's part of the curriculum from September for all the midwives. Don't worry, they know what ICON stands for because they have to share it with all the parents and caregivers prior to discharge home. So we continue to raise awareness with the students. We've also gone in, we've had 3 days with the students at UCLan. We've worked from the forensic house and we've done safeguarding scenarios, and of course they've included ICON and Safe Asleep, as well as drugs and alcohol and mental health and everything else, because again, like Karen said previously, we have to think family and think about the impact about both parents and how they can cope. We also, I've worked with my colleague, we've all worked with Rachel, our amazing person from CDOP ICON, and everything she singly does, along with Sue as well. We've also, and our amazing Chris Borden, that's been doing absolutely amazing things to to promote Icon. As you will see this week, you'll see loads of things that we're tweeting. We've had Blackpool Tower lit up. We've had the front of the hospital lit up. We've got Blackburn Rovers promoting, not that I'm a Blackburn Rovers fan, and Preston North End and Burnley. We've got all those doing the Icon messages. So we're definitely engaging men. We've got NWAS on board. We've got Enterprise. We've got our right across our trusts. They've all been doing it. So we're spreading the word, and we work with not just maternity, we're midwives, but we do neonatal unit, we do ED, we do urgent care, we do paediatric ward, paediatric outreach, neonatal outreach, just to name a few that we're working with and spreading those message, along with embedding Safe Asleep. Icon is being embedded along that line. So I think you can see the amazing things that we've been doing, and we will continue to do that. So we're already thinking, what can we do next year to make it a bit brighter? And as Karen got some slides up, I have just got I've only got 3 pictures because I can't show you the Rovers, Fran. But this is the board in our maternity. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the board in
Yeah.
our maternity reception. So don't forget, we don't just promote Icon on this Icon week, do we? It's promoted on a daily basis. We've also got that's one of the pictures. I think that was on the ward in maternity triage. And I'm just bear with me a minute. She won't know, but Rachel, there you go. I know you've not shared the pictures with Chris yet, but that was when we were practicing what the letters would look like for professionals to say. I stands for infant crying is normal. C stands for comforting methods may help. It's okay to walk away and never ever shake your baby. So that is what all of the messages we've been spreading right across Lancashire. And I've got one more, I think. It's the Blackpool Tower picture from last year, but we have done it this year as well. It's lit up the same because I've not got the pictures on my computer.
Absolutely
And
brilliant.
Rachel has to take the praise for that because she sorted that out. So I hope you can see the passion that Karen, Carla and myself and Sue and Rachel have to promote this message. And I think it started with me personally back in 2018 when at Lancashire Teaching Hospitals, we had 3 cases of abusive head trauma. And we did a deep dive and thought, what can we do to make a difference to these women? Do we need any learning? We'd never experienced that. We've had a recent 7-week-old baby that was brought into ED as well with abusive head trauma. So you need to make every contact count and continue to promote the Icon message, not just on Icon Week.
Thank you, ladies. That was absolutely fantastic. You're doing some amazing work. And like you say, often when people come on board with Icon, it is because of incidents they've had around abusive head trauma. And by sharing the message with as many people as possible, you know, we can help parents to cope with crying and understand about the crying and, you know, reassure them that it will get better and this isn't what it's going to be like. So absolutely amazing work. Thank you very much. Has anybody got any comments or any questions? I'm sure lots of you are doing lots of things in your areas as well.
Does anybody want to share what they're doing in any other area with us?
Yeah, might be something else we can share. We can start doing.
That's it. The more people share, lots of you have done amazing stuff. I've been seeing all sorts of Facebook and tweets and things, and that everybody's been doing. It's absolutely fantastic. Really, really, really pleased. So do share if you've got anybody's got anything.
It's probably worth noting as well, obviously, specifically to University Hospitals of Morecambe Bay, we cross 2 counties. So we are encroaching on Cumbria now with it as well. And we've done a little, what did they call it? A vlog around Icon for the ICB. So hoping to try and capture GPs as well, because I think sometimes that's really difficult to make those contacts count when there's so much. It's the same as a midwifery contact, isn't it? Sometimes when there's so much to achieve in a very short appointment, primary care can be in a really good position to deliver the message, but maybe not always be able to prioritize it. So hopefully the vlog that's going to be shared via the ICB will promote the cause a little bit and just refocus our colleagues in primary care towards Icon a little bit.
So Nikki's put in the chat, has anyone managed to secure funding for the head trauma dolls, and do you have a link for the purchase? I mean, they're absolutely fantastic, the dolls, but don't feel like you're a poor relation if you don't have them, because Icon is just about having the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, not giving a leaflet, not just doing the one thing. It's about making sure whoever you're talking to understands what what Icon is. But if, and obviously, Karen will be able to probably share where she.
Yeah, we actually got the funding for ours from our Feel the Difference fund. HCRG has a Feel the Difference fund, and every month you can put in a bid if you want some money, and it's got to be something that is going to benefit the community. And there's a panel that, you know, they go through it, and is it value for money sort of thing? How much is it going to help the community? How much money do we actually want? I didn't put that bid in. It was one of our safeguarding nurses, so I haven't got the purchase order or anything. But Nikki, if you want to pop your email in the chat box, I can email Michelle and copy you in, and hopefully she'll be able to send it to you. I'm not even sure how much they are. I think did you have that information, Sue?
No, they're quite expensive though.
They're
aren't they?
expensive, I think, for what they are, to be honest.
And
We
there's
bought
lots of
6
videos that you can use on the website. There is
Yeah.
Inside Out documentary, and that has a picture and shows about the shaken baby as well. So there are lots of videos on our website that you can use for education as well. So like
Yeah,
I
I
say, they
attended
were
our
great, but don't
Safeguard
worry.
Champion meeting yesterday, and I gave them an update because obviously they're the safeguarding champions and they should be discussing Icon, you know, when they're doing the supervising. But I played that Inside Out video for them, and I think it's really good because there's sort of 3 completely different scenarios, aren't
Yeah,
there?
it sums everything up for me. You know, about the prevention, about what happens, and obviously talks about the conversations as well that midwives and health sisters can have. So
And
yeah,
there is a
there are lots
parent
of things.
ambassador on there. I'm not sure she's
Yeah.
on today, but they're talking on Friday out. Then I'm really keen to see what they're saying. But unfortunately, I've got something else. But I will be watching the recording of it.
So Hannah from Lincolnshire, they've been promoting to our primary care colleagues in Lincolnshire. We've had a week of lunchtime events. Yeah, I've seen all of them. Have you got any pictures? Put them on social media as well. To the 0 to 19 Children's Services Hospital community, we had a ICB on the Boston St. Bottlops Church. It's being on tonight. It's all doing amazing things. Absolutely fantastic. And I try to keep up with the links and posting on them, commenting on them, but I just keep sharing them. I'm just really overwhelmed, and you know, can't believe how everybody is just takes, you know, come on board and owned Icon, because it's a simple message and what we're all here for. By the end of the week, if you listen to the parents, stories are always very moving, but that's why we're all here, isn't it?
Definitely.
So thank you.
We also got when we were taking pictures and getting them to say what Icon stood for, I forgot to say we did get a pregnant mum and a dad in clinic. I asked any of them that were sat in the waiting room if they wanted to be involved to promote it, and we got a grandma as well to be.
Perfect.
So they were just
That's
got on
brilliant.
board.
Absolutely fantastic. And I mentioned you talked about your ED units and things like that. We have just created a 7-minute breathe with Jamie, Carter and Giles, which after this week of his presentation, we were going to send that out to everybody so that you can then share that with all your ED units, which is really something else that you can use. Thank you all. But if anybody has any questions, you can just email me and I can make sure that Karen, Carla or Debbie gets them. But absolutely fantastic. In Children and Families Wellbeing, this is Ellen McKay-Smith. We are rolling out a workshop across all districts for Safer Sleep and ICANN that we've developed online with recent CSPR, CDOP and SUDI reports. We have had felt it was such crucial to establish this across our service and the need for meaningful conversations with our families, which is key. Brilliant. Thank you again. Where are you from, Ellen? What area?
Children and Family Wellbeing Service.
Whereabouts? What part of the country?
We're part of the central team as practice development, so
Right.
we cover the whole of Lancashire.
Brilliant. Well done.
Is that the L9 or?
It is, yes,
It
Debbie.
is. I thought it was when I saw your name. Yeah, You're doing
That's
a good job.
brilliant.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, we just felt like we've had such a massive turnover that I think the messages have been there for staff, but not as thoroughly as what we'd like. So increasing the
Mm.
quality of conversations when we know so many of the risk factors overlap to the families that we're working with, in particular in our intensive support strand, that we needed to relook at actually what's our staff understanding and deepening that really.
That's brilliant.
And that's brilliant
Fantastic.
because what you said, you know, the risk indicators are the families who are more susceptible to struggling to cope with a crying baby, aren't they?
Absolutely.
That goes a long way to making sure it's not a tick box exercise as well, because this is the same with anything, isn't it? You know, you're busy, you're understaffed, you're overpressured. There is that potential for things to become, well, I've discussed it, I'll tick the box. And it's
Yeah.
the key is that meaningful conversation, isn't it? And you know, we all know we're all in jobs where families know where we're just trying to sort of move things along a bit. It's that actual meaningful conversation where families feel heard as well. I think is vital, and you've put it really eloquently there, Ellen. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's brilliant. Well
It's been
done.
lovely hearing everything you guys are doing.
It's great
Thanks,
to hear
Ellen.
everything.
You're a star too. I know that because I've worked with her a long time.
That's brilliant. Thank you, ladies. Like I say, I'll put a little evaluation link like I have done for all of them. It will be on the website for you to listen to if anybody's not heard the webinar. But please, you know, do keep sharing all the things that you're doing. Put it on Facebook. We can share it because it's absolutely amazing what you're all doing, and I'm really grateful. We all want to just make a difference to and prevent some babies being shaken. That's
Definitely.
brilliant. Thank you. So our next webinar will be tomorrow at 10:30, and that's Krishnan and Anna Tarrant who are talking rethinking dads. So that should be something interesting. Then we've got somebody from probation to come and talk, and then Karen Tyson Lee and Monica Davis talking about mesh and icon. And then Rachel Jolly icon talking about icon and in the GP practice. So that another interesting day again tomorrow. Thank you all very much for everything that you do.
Thanks for
you.
having us,
Thanks,
Sue.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks
you.
for letting us join you, Sue.
And
Thank
thanks
you.
everybody for
Thanks for
joining
Take
coming.
us.
care, everyone. Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.
I'll stay if anybody has any comments. I'll stay for a few moments.